Hey, so you're going to see my conversation with Jessie Reyez. I've talked to Jessie for about 9 or 10 years now, and consistently the whole time, in addition to being an incredible songwriter, incredible performer, big pop star, big songwriter to others, she's also consistently the most honest person you'll ever get the chance to talk to, because I think that there's a press cycle narrative that often comes up, which is, I was struggling, I did this, and now everything is all better. Here's my album about it. Jessie, in this interview, I sort of realized oh, she's going to tell me what she's really dealing with, which is that any type of growth, you go 5 or 6 steps ahead and then you take 3 steps backwards. You take, it's like that. And she's so honest about it. She's so honest about looking back on her 8th grade ambitions to go platinum and be famous and get rich, and the harmful behaviors that led to, and how she's still trying to figure it out. A really honest conversation with an incredible Canadian musician. Check it out. Hi.
Hola.
How are you?
Good.
I worked it out today that we've been talking to each other here for 10 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I talked to you right when Figures first came out.
Crazy.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm tired, but I'm good.
How long you been out?
Out of the womb. Out.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And I was asking how old you are, and I figured I'd ask how long you've been out of the womb. Out on the road.
Out on the road. I've been on tour for the better part of this year. Actually, I think we started in May, June.
How you holding up?
I'm alive. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I am pushing through.
And the shows look amazing. I've been keeping up on Instagram and all that.
Thank you. They've been going really well, thank God.
And congrats on the record. It's beautiful.
Thank you very much.
I want to talk a little bit about how we got here.
Okay.
So the front cover of the record, the album artwork, that's really you.
That's a legit.
Jessica Reyez.
Jessica. Oh, not the Govey. Yeah, that is Jessica. That's Jessica.
8th grade.
8th grade.
And it said, ambition, achieve fame, go platinum, get rich. Mm-hmm. Was that real, what you wrote back then?
Hand to God.
What do you remember about writing that down? What do you remember about that being your ambition in grade 8?
Yeah, I just always remember seeing this dream in my mind's eye, So I was just seeing it.
Yeah, but can I say it's a different dream? The dream to some people is tour the world or become a rock star, be a musician. Get famous, go platinum, get rich.
Yeah.
Tells me something about what was driving you. Mm-hmm. Why do you think that was your ambition back then?
I don't know. Maybe because I felt like such an underdog. Maybe because I felt so different. Maybe because I wanted to come back and shit on everyone who doubted me.
We just interviewed Paul Anka, the songwriter,
yeah.
And he said, I would love more musicians to talk about how revenge is maybe the biggest motivator in our business.
Yeah. Well, at least when I was younger. Yeah.
Before you got enlightened.
Yeah, exactly. Before I found more peace.
So, but back then you were serious. You were.
I was dead ass. I just wanted to dominate. I wanted to take over the world.
In music, and can you give people an idea of how you how little you knew about doing that? You didn't have a foot in the music industry at that point.
No.
Give us an idea of did you have any tools on how you were going to have this fame and platinum and all the stuff you wanted? Did you have any idea how to do it?
I had 2 radios.
Yeah.
That I would make mixtapes on.
Yeah.
You press record, press this, so I would have these little tapes that I would make. I had a guitar at my crib because my dad played a bit, so it was I had the accessibility to it, which was elite.
What did he play?
He played guitar.
What kind of songs?
Boleros from Colombia.
Yeah.
Old old songs.
Mm-hmm.
And I had, speaking of my father, I had a front row seat to what it really means to grind. Hustle. Yeah, my mom and dad both have very, very great work ethic.
What were they employed in? What did they do?
My mom, when I was younger, used to be a cleaning lady, and she also ran a daycare at our house. When we lived in Toronto, she did it out of the apartment, and then when we moved to Brampton, we lived upstairs, and then the downstairs was her daycare. Yeah. So it was just ABCs all over the house and the rainbow rubber tile.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
taking up the whole floor.
Whole floor.
And what'd your dad do?
And my pops worked tool and die maker. But he also did a bunch of stuff on the side. They painted. My dad made Colombian candy, manjar blanco to sell. Everything, everything. My mom made tamales.
So you had an idea of how hard what it means to work hard.
I had an idea of what it means to work hard.
But what are the early days of like, I want to be rich, platinum, massively successful? The early days of that, what did that look like for you?
That looked like taking advantage of any sort of opportunity. So it meant like my uncle had a homie that did music. He took me to the studio one day and I got to like see shit. And that meant a lot. It meant busking the older I got and just playing on the street.
You busked?
Yeah, I busked. I
didn't know that. I knew about the remix project stuff, but I didn't know you busked.
Before remix, I would go like randomly somewhere on Queen Street or in Kensington Market. I'd find a little corner and figure it out.
What were you singing? Your own music or?
A little bit of both. Some of my music and some covers.
Covers of what?
Jesus. Officially Missing You by Tamia. You know that song?
No.
Guess it's safe to say, baby.
Oh yeah, I know that song.
Safe
I know
to
that song. Yeah,
say.
I do know that song.
That one. And then I would do I'd go to open mics all the time, anytime I could. Open mics a lot at Supermarket.
Yeah.
They used to have open mic night there a lot, and I'd go, and if it wasn't me and my guitar, it'd be me and a homie who played guitar and just dug it out there.
You were hustling really hard. Like you were a receptionist. You were a bottle girl. You worked as a server.
Down the street.
Where?
I was a bottle girl at Faces nightclub on Richmond. And I used to bartend at Copacabana on Richmond. And around the city, like randomly at Music Nightclub, randomly at different spots.
And you were a cheerleader for the CFL?
Cheerleader for the CFL,
for the Argos?
Yeah, for the Toronto Argonauts. Yeah, man, for years I was a cheerleader. And then I was a receptionist at Good Life Fitness, and then got promoted to sales, and then I was a personal trainer at Extreme Fitness for a few years as well.
So were you a grinder? Were you could you sense that part of your personality come out, and even in those jobs? Like, can you think of something you were doing as a cheerleader or something as a receptionist? You were like, oh, even then I was dedicated. Even then I was hustling.
So here's the thing. I don't think that because it's not like I was I wasn't a robot and I wasn't type A either. So it's not like I was like this. But what I found out with the years was that the only time that would really, really come out is when it was music related.
Something you loved.
Exactly. So you'd see it if I with Argos when I made the team, I had two objectives walking in there. I was like, okay, I want to be able to play and do gigs where there might be other musicians and producers that are randomly coming to shows or events, and I'm gonna have my mixtapes ready, and I would. So we did because when you're a cheerleader, you also get jobs as a promo girl. So they had us at some Universal party, and I had my mixtapes in between my pom poms, and I was like, all right, I'm ready.
No, really?
And I'd hand it out, yeah. And then also my objective was to also get to sing the anthem, which I never got to sing at one of the Argos games, but that was also one of the goals when I went. And I was like, okay, how can I flip this? How can I make this something that contributes to the bigger picture, which is the music thing?
Have you gotten to sing the anthem since?
Not at the Argos, no, but I did it at Raptors.
But what the hell? You were a cheerleader for the Argos. Don't you think they would have brought you in or something like that?
I don't know if it's been in the ether or not, but a bitch been busy.
You know what? I think good. I'm glad it's you saying no, because if I found out they're not reaching out to you,
I don't know if that's the case either.
I'm going to tackle someone.
Okay.
Your parents were incredibly hard workers. You knew that college wasn't for you, the university wasn't for you. Your parents were incredibly hard workers. You said this thing in an interview I read that I was curious about. You said they were concerned. What's that? Someone texting you?
No, it's texting me. This is a bracelet.
Good for you. I thought it was an Apple Watch.
No, sir. Imagine a gold. No. This is just a bracelet.
I don't know. You're a big shot. I thought you might have a gold Apple Watch. I don't know.
Stop power calling me a big shot.
You're a big
This is
shot.
your name on the mug, sir. All right.
Tell me. She walked out. You said your parents were concerned about you and were supportive of you. Typically, it's only one. Mm-hmm. Tell me what the concern looked like and tell me what the support looked like.
Support looked like my mom saying maybe after high school, because you know how much I hated school. And I told them I wanted to take a year off so I could work and make money so I wouldn't go into crazy debt. At least I'd have something to put towards my schooling. And I was going to go in for journalism because I liked writing, like English. Or I was going to go in for kinesiology because I already hadn't been in with the
some
gym.
phys ed sort of world, yeah, right, you know.
And she said maybe I should go in for music. And I was like, from what I'd learned at that point, it seemed like so much of what moving forward will look like is relationships and who you know and grinding and making it. Because it didn't seem like going to school for music and for a piece of paper, a diploma was going to help me in the plan that I had. It just didn't seem like that was going to work. And if I was going to go the tried and true route, I might as well get a diploma in something that I know would help. Which is funny because even in journal, you just don't fucking know if it's gonna help you or not.
No, yeah, maybe business or something.
Maybe
like that.
business, yeah, or a lawyer or a doctor or something that like you needed.
Yeah.
But anyways, that was my idea of a safer route was that. So I told her no. But that in itself was supportive, and also them coming to like every now and then I'd have a gig at like I think I played a gig at Lula Lounge.
Yeah.
When I was like
on Dundas.
16 or 17.
Yeah.
And it was all ages, like big, like Latino jam, but all ages, and it just you wouldn't expect to see a little white afro and an older guy like my mom, my dad, my tío, and my tía all pulled up, and they're by far the oldest people there, and they're just like hanging and being like, this young boy, this teenage boy tried like winding up on my tía Albita, which was hilarious. Yeah, it was so lit. Yeah. But that's what support looked like. They would, and I also did another one at it's a bar in Saga or a Etobicoke, underground something, apartment something.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I could remember the name. But anyways, my boy was organizing it, and he let me come play. Like, he was organizing the event. He was like, yeah, if you want to come play. And I was like, cool. And they had me on, like, this will paint a picture. After the final act.
So, hold on, you weren't the headliner.
Of course not.
Like, it was typically after the final act means you're the last, you're the headliner.
Yeah.
So the headliner was done.
And everyone had left.
Oh, yeah, that's when you want to be on.
Everyone had left. And the only people in the bar
were
my mom, my dad, my aunt, my uncle, and a cousin. And that's it, because everyone else had, and my boy who organized it, and the bartenders. And I was like, oh, can I? And I don't know if he was just like, he was trying to help me out or something. But whatever it was, it really, it just remembering who showed up for me. You know what I mean? And at the time, it was such a joke of a gig. Like, it wasn't a real gig. It was just like charity, like a toss. You know what I mean? So that's what support looks like. And their concern looked like, I've mentioned this before, and it's so funny because I don't even remember, because my mom was so full of love that I don't even remember this memory, but it haunted her to the point that she brought it up years later. She says when I was like 24 or 25, and she says, I don't remember this, she says, she looked at me and she said, Mija, maybe it isn't for you. Like, maybe God has a different plan for you.
Yeah.
I don't remember it.
There's a kindness in that.
So of course there's kindness. She's looking out for her daughter. She's trying to be realistic. Yeah. She's putting faith in God and trying to share her faith with me. Yeah. But I think what resonated the most about her bringing that up to me years later is, A, it was really sweet that it marked her because she never, you know what I mean? That so much so that she remembered it. But B, she's done such a great job with providing such love that it didn't even resonate. Like, it didn't even...
Oh, yeah, because it affected her, but to you, you're like,
I don't even remember it.
Yeah.
I don't even remember it.
It didn't have this moment where, like, Mom doesn't believe in me.
Not at all. Yeah, not at all.
Hold on, you were 24, 25. How old were you when Figures came out?
I don't know, man.
Not long after that.
Not long. No, you're right. Not long after, because the very next year, shit started moving. You're the one who's gonna lose something so special, something so real. Tell me, boy, how in the fuck would you feel if you couldn't get me back? That's what I wish that I could do to you. Yeah, the next year it started moving. And I think that's also why she was haunted by it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because had I listened the next year when the landslide finally came, it might have not come.
Tell me what the landslide felt like. Most people listening to this will never experience that. So that song Figures, I mean, it blew up. You had other songs, and we're going to talk about them in a second, and for other people. But that song blew up in a way that a lot of songs don't blow up. When you say the landslide started, what does that mean?
It means that the email started. My managers, I was with, Busy, Byron, who you've seen, and at the time, Ruiz, they were like, you should see this email. Like, it looked like a...
It was like a slot machine, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It looked like a slot machine.
Yeah.
Because it was just label after label after label, agent, whatever. Just people were just like, yo. And it turned into a bidding war amongst the labels. And that shit was wild, man. It was wild getting wined and dined. But it also was a quick introduction into how fickle that love can be, because we were sitting down with presidents, we were sitting down with like these heads, and everyone was just laying it on thick. And when I had finally made the decision of where I wanted to go, because of the time invested and because of the effort, I was like, you know what, I feel like it's on me to call these people directly and say it, as opposed to just leaving it up to my management to do it. I was like, fuck it, it's gonna come from me.
The people you had to say no to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get on the phone with the presidents or whatever and be like, hey, thank you, say it. And again, because it was a bidding war, so it was multiple teams, and I can count on my fucking hand the amount of people who didn't switch their energy, who were still like, you know what, it's love and we believe in you and you're chasing your dreams, so we're still gonna ride for you even if we're not on the same team. That was a very, very early introduction into how rare it is to have people who are genuine in their support of you, as opposed to when shit's just popping and when they can gain something, and as soon as they cannot gain something. Oh,
you mean that you didn't hear a lot of that? You didn't hear a lot of, yeah.
No, that's what I mean. I could count on one hand. The amount of people who didn't switch up their energy as soon as they found out that they weren't going to get anything from me.
I'm interested in the idea of like a dog who caught the car. You know what I mean? Like,
what is that?
Well, think about it. Like a dog chases a car down the road. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then what happens when the dog catches the car? Nothing. It's the chase that is the most meaningful thing to the dog. When the dog catches the car, he doesn't know what to do with it.
I've never heard that. It's an idiom. I've never heard that.
Yeah, it's an old expression. You know, it's all we got in Newfoundland. We can't express ourselves emotionally. We can only use old sea salt rhymes.
Okay.
And so you had been chasing platinum, fame, wealth, and it started to happen after that.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about when you first started to realize that life was starting to be a little bit different. You were getting what you wanted, but life was changing.
I was really happy, relieved. I was like, cool, all these years, like, shit's finally moving.
Yeah.
Stoked to see manifestation in front of me. Stoked to make my family proud. Stoked to make my squad proud. That was the upside. And then the downside was all the switch up that was happening. Because there was a lot of people who doubted her, a lot of people who wouldn't give me the time of day, a lot of people whose emails I'd never get a response for, and all of that switched. And now all of a sudden, everyone's been a fan from day one. And I always believed in you. I always this, I always that. And that started turning me into a very bitter version of myself. And my family booked it first. My mom booked it, and she was like, you gotta be careful with this, because I can see it's changing you. And I was to the point that I didn't want to speak to anybody, because it felt like everyone I spoke to wanted something from me.
Yeah.
And I'm already introverted, so it turned me into more of a hermit. I just didn't want to, I legit was just scared. It felt like getting pulled from everyone, and yeah. But she told me, she's like, you need to be careful with that shit. And then she told me, you don't have to, and she said a semblance of the following. You can't fault other people for projecting their own limitations onto you just because they didn't have your vision.
Say it again.
You can't fault people for projecting their limitations onto you just because they didn't have your vision.
Yeah, okay.
That's their curse.
Yeah.
That's not your curse.
Yeah.
That's one. And then my dad said it in a very in a brash he said it in his way. He was like, "What do you want people to call you when you're losing?" And I was like, "Fair. That's people don't call you when you're losing. People call you when you're winning. So like, oh, congratulations. Few and far in between other people that call you when you're fucking losing." So that just made me more aware of not letting it change me, and smiling and just not holding it against people. I think that's when the Paul Anka quote of like the vengeance started to dissipate, because then I was like, why am I carrying someone else's cross?
Yeah.
I'm not. I'd be sullying. I'd be bastardizing my joy just for the sake of rencor, resentment.
Okay, yeah, resentment.
Yeah. I'm not gonna fucking ruin my joy just because I have resentment because people didn't believe in me early on. Like it's not my cross to bear.
But the dog who caught the car stuff is more about like, because a lot of this, what I'm trying to build to is this new record, right? And the new record, one of the things you said about it is it's a manifestation of this idea that money didn't make me happy. Mm-hmm. Money and fame and success, really what you were talking about in grade 8, didn't make me happy. What I'm trying to get a picture of is,
I love that you made that connection. That's beautiful, because I love that you said that,
It's true.
It is true, but not everyone grasps that that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to get a sense of is I need to hear about the, if you want to, I need to hear about the money and the fame and the success not making you happy before I can understand the things you needed to realize to get away from it. But like, what did it look like? When you lose fame, you lose anonymity. People know who you are. You can't go out as easily. There's a lot of money, so there's a lot more people at your doorstep. People don't know that people who tour a lot it's exhausting. It's a lot of work, right?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, shit, you pretty much said it all. That's very valid.
You know?
Yeah, it's not. It's the another accent, like everything that glitters ain't gold. Like it's just not. It's not as perfect as you might think when you're a child and you're dreaming of this life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were grinding so hard. Can you tell that Calvin Harris story with the CDs? Because I've heard like a couple of versions of it. Calvin tells it one way, and I've heard you tell it another way. Is it that he was playing in Toronto and you got on stage with like a bag of CDs?
Yeah, he was playing government nightclub, and this was when I was a receptionist, and my homies were going to Labor of Love. That's what the party was called. And at that time, if something wasn't contributing to a music-related thing, I didn't want to waste time doing it. And they were like, come on. And I was like, nah. And they're like, come on, we'll buy your ticket. And I was like, no. And then finally I was like, okay, if I bring mixtapes and I hand out my mixtapes, at least I know I'm being productive and going, so I'll go. And I brought my mixtapes, and Cascade was playing. I handed out one to him. Steve Aoki was playing. I handed out one to him. And then we got to Calvin's room, and his podium was in the middle of the stage. Podium, whatever.
Where he does his DJ thing, yeah.
So you had to sneak onto stage in order to get it to him. And I was like, shit, all right. My homies are watching from like middle, I guess. I leave my bags with them. I take one CD and I run. And I look over, no one's watching. I'm like, sneak on stage, and I run over to his podium. And I'm like, hey, and interrupt him in the middle of his fucking set. And I start waving my CD in front of him. And he's like, what the fuck? But he's not mad. It's almost like just incredulous. Like, what the fuck is going? That's his face. And I'm like, please. And he's like, and then someone from his squad runs over, and they're like, ah, and they take the thing, and they're obviously like so displeased. And I'm just like, thank you. And then I look over, and security's now bagged me, and they're running towards me, but I have more mixtapes to give out. My whole squad is here. I'm not getting kicked out. So I'm like, whoa. And I run, and I jump off stage, and I just run off and disappear into the crowd. And that was the story. He doesn't remember that, but it's so funny because at our first session, I held that. I was like, I'm not going to meet this man who's flown me. He's flew me out to LA because this is after Figures came out.
Yeah. And you guys had connected virtually, right? You connected
on Twitter.
On Twitter.
On Twitter, he had reached out and said, Figures is dope. People in LA are excited about you. I thought you should know that. And I was like, thanks. And then he said that he was working on Funk Wave and that he'd love to work with me. And then he flew me out, and
you said, nice to see you again.
That's hilarious. No, I shut my ass up because that sounds psychotic. I bit my tongue. It was supposed to be only 2 sessions. First session, the whole day goes by. I haven't said shit. We made something good. The vibes are good. I'm like, okay. And then at the end of the session, I'm like, so we kind of met. And he was like, what? And then I told him the story, and he couldn't believe it. He didn't remember, which is a great thing that he didn't really remember, because I wouldn't have wanted to contribute to a negative experience for him. But yeah.
How do you look back on that young woman, that young girl?
It makes me smile.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes me smile because I'm not, nothing was, I worked, I sweat for this, which makes it easier to enjoy the fruit now.
So what happened with this new record? That obviously something happened where I am getting the feeling that you have had some sort of recalculation or readjustment of all of this success and fame and platinum and the dreams you had when you were in grade 8 and all this stuff you were grinding for, Jessie, all the stuff you were grinding for. Am I right about that? What happened?
I'm tired.
Did something happen that caused you to have a reevaluation of it? It often happens that way.
I think it was just cumulative, and maybe also my sobriety's contributed because I can't really numb things, so you have to just really look at them.
Yeah, I mean, it's none of my business. You've been sober for a while now?
Yeah, 2 years and change. And
congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, people are growing. People are getting older. And touring is different too, because you're in this Peter Pan state. Because you get to be someone who gets to spend their time doing what they love. So time moves differently. And even on tour, you leave and you leave and you come back, and then the world has continued to turn. And yeah, I've realized that I'm like, oh, I kind of miss having thicker roots. I kind of miss that. And I've been able to circumvent some of that by bringing family with me on the road and meditating, even though I need to be meditating more. But yeah, man, I just, and the things that make me happy, I want to do more of them. And unfortunately, a lot of this industry doesn't do that for me. I like creating, but I don't love the minutia around it. But I love nature, and I love being next to a lake, and I love being with animals, and I still have the idea of like the farm, my family, my peace there. I find more peace there, and it's hard to keep that peace in this art, which again sounds very ungrateful. I understand that it can sound ungrateful to someone and that's also why it's not something that I articulate much. I say this often. I like to sing about things I don't like to talk about.
Hey, as someone said to me, that's my friend Jessie you're talking about. Don't be hard on yourself. Two things can be true at the same time.
Right, exactly.
For people who don't know, you've had like a lot of success writing songs for other people. Was there any part of having big songs for other people, a lot of money coming in, I'm sure, but not when your name on it, was that satisfying? Was that unsatisfying?
More satisfying than unsatisfying, because I was still working on my shit parallel to that.
Yeah.
But it's funny you mentioned, because when shit started moving, even after Figures, and there was definitely a shift that happened, because it used to be world domination. That used to be the like, and then the more I started understanding how fame can affect you, also affect the people around you, also affect the way that like you're perceived. It's just, it can, and I wasn't, this is intense, because this is also even before I was sober that I started realizing that I was like, well, maybe I need to adjust my goals here, because I wanted this level up, or like I wanted that, but I wasn't ready for everything that was going to come with it. So I was like, okay, let me readjust, because success can look, it doesn't mean that needs to be something that's included if that's not what success looks like to me anymore. But yeah, it was both. But it was really funny though, because at that time too, when I was doing the songs for others, I'd hear some people be like, "Oh, Jessie gives away her hits. Like she doesn't keep that."
I read that too.
Yeah,
that you gave away your hits to other people.
Yeah. Which is there's two sides, because I think everything happens how it needs to happen.
Sure. And
I think had I achieved more back then, when I wasn't sober, when I wasn't sound, there was no equanimity near my name at all. I needed more peace. I needed more, like, I was just turbulent. I was much more turbulent. Had that come then, I probably, and I've said, I wouldn't have survived it. I wouldn't have survived it. And I'm grateful that things have happened how they happen, and I have faith in the greater good. So I think everything happens how it's supposed to. But also, part of me feels like I was afraid of success. So
you were giving it away to sort of self-sabotage in some ways.
Maybe, yeah.
You said all of the success that I've been lucky enough to have felt like a jacket that was too tight. Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
For multiple reasons. I had a hard time stepping into that, because there's a lot of people I started with who aren't around. Like a lot other musicians that have been like, working, and so then there's a part of you that feels like survivor's guilt, kind of, a version of that, a bloodless version of that, and then because you now see the dark side of it too, and you want to be like, oh, I don't know if this is, but that feels so ungrateful, because it's like you prayed for cake and now you're crying about there being crumbs. That's also, it's difficult, because then you want to hold space for yourself and be like, oh, you're human. Of course you're going to be tired. Of course you prayed for this, but you didn't pray for everything that comes with it. So you weren't expecting it, but also don't beat yourself up because you're feeling that guilt at the same time. I don't know. There's not enough time in the day for how complex it is to hold those two truths. As you said, at the same time, it's a difficult thing. But yeah.
It does feel like you made a change, though. Like you did seem to change something about your lifestyle or something about your...
Does that seem like it? Good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just even when you first came in, before we got started, I said, how's touring now? And you went, it's good. I'm a lot more present. I'm a lot more clear. I'm a lot more implies something changed.
Was that, yeah.
So you don't have to tell me what changed, what the defining moment was. Can you tell me some of the changes that you made in your own life to have tours be more clear? You seem to have a bit more of a, how do I say this? You seem to have a little bit more, as you said, equanimity. A little bit more about equanimity. For people who don't know, is this idea that like no matter what life throws at you, whether it's fame or disrepute, whether it's success or failure, that you can be like a rock in the middle of a stream and you are unchanging by those things. Can you tell me about some things that you did to have a more peaceful life, to have a better sense of this success, to not feel like you're being bowled over by all these things you were struggling with? It sounds like you did some stuff.
I'm in the process of doing more.
Aren't we all?
Aren't we all? I'm in the process of doing more.
Is that when you started doing... I noticed on Instagram you were standing on your head doing yoga a lot.
I do yoga a lot.
Was that a part of it?
That's also included then. It's just... Part of me feels very hypocritical at the moment because I've done that, but I also still suffer from the overwork and like, I could do this. Like, we just got here from Montreal last night. Not last night. We just got off the tour bus this morning from Montreal and jumped right into a promo day. And then tomorrow we gotta, it's just, so it feels hypocritical. That's why I got that expression on my face, because you're like, oh, like you're finding more balance and more equanimity. Meanwhile, I'm fucking exhausted. I'm tired. So obviously it's still very much a work in progress, but it's also it's almost like me from the future being like, okay, when this happens, this is gonna be your, like, I don't see myself doing this for as long as I used to see it in the past.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me. Well, hold on. Let me, before you get into it, let me tell you that I think that's really normal. I meditate every day, but also, last night I stayed on my phone for 2 hours because I just needed that, and I knew it was bad for my brain, and I still did it. And I'm overworked today, and I'm stressed out, and I smoked cigarettes last week, and sorry, Mom, listening to this, and you know what I mean? Like, your behaviors are one thing, and your intentions are another. But
oh my God, what a sentence!
But you said you don't see yourself doing this as long as you used to see it.
Yeah, I don't. I don't mean to be TOMZ, but thank you. But tell me more about that, man. I think I'll create till I die. Sure. I don't think that's something that can change, but there's just a lot of the industry that I'm just done with. Like what? Like shaking babies and kissing hands. Mm-hmm. Honestly, everything but making. Everything but making. And performing, I love performing too, but also just being a lot smarter with how much of the year I'm doing and how many shows and where I'm going, and making sure that my quality of life reflects the level of awareness and intelligence that my brain has now achieved. I need to put that into practice in real life, because theory's great, but theory ain't worth shit without practice. So I know better, and it's time to do better. You know what I love about this conversation is that I've been in the album cycle world too long, where I'm sort of like used to people coming in and being like, I was this, then I did that, and now I'm this. And now I'm going to talk about how this album is about this because of that. But that's actually not how life works. Yeah. Like, life is actually more like how you just put it, that we're caught between constantly trying to make ourselves better, falling back, going through behaviors, changing all the time. Yeah. And I'm realizing, just to be candid with you, I'm realizing that I walked into being like, oh, Jessie was having a hard time with fame and success. Jessie figured it out. She started standing on her head and swimming in a lake. And now she's all better, and she's going to give me some perspective on it. I'm still fucked. Surprise. There's your headline. Oh, I'm still fucked. Yep. You're not. Not fucked. Not fully fucked. Just half fucked. No, but it does sound like there's been some
what I'm hearing, at least lyrically, even on this record, what I'm hearing on the sound of this record is a lot of personal growth.
Yeah, sober fucked is personal growth.
Yeah, fucking right. Can we play a song?
Hell yeah.
When I say I love you, I mean I would pull every star from the sky down. I'll square up with any Goliath. I'll moonwalk it through any fire. When I say I love you, I mean I ain't trying to do this life without you. It's a bad day until I'm around you. I was about to give up.
That's Goliath, Jessie Reyez. Tell me about that song, because I hear it's only kind of a love. It's only kind of a romantic love song, but the origins of it was not a romantic love song. Tell me about that song.
I hadn't spoken to my niece in a long time.
How old's your niece? Can I ask them? I'm not going to give away her postal code. She young, old?
Little.
Okay.
She's little. And I haven't really spoken to my brother or my sister-in-law because of life and its issues. And unfortunately, when that happens, kids suffer because they're in the middle of that.
Yeah.
And I hadn't spoken to her in a while. And then I finally got her on the phone. And I got so emotional. And it's so funny watching kids watch you cry from tenderness and joy because they still don't understand that. So she was a bit perplexed.
You were being warm with her. You were being.
I just crumbled because I was so mad. The love that I felt, the wave of love from seeing her face just rocked me. And then we caught up. And then, man, I did my bottom mascara. I'm really not trying to cry right now.
We can stop if you want.
It's okay. I'll finish the story. So, anyways, I got emotional, and then I went into the studio, and then the chorus came out. And so the chorus is about her. And then the rest of the song, because I am part businesswoman, I was like, well, how can I make this more of a universal experience? And since the majority, this love, I know is very, not rare, but often if you don't have your own kid or if you don't have kids in your life, I understand that some people might not know what that's like to have that sort of like, because it's just selfless.
It's
and
deep. It's deep.
It's deep. It's selfless, and it can be one way and still feel valid. But the majority of the world has experienced more often the romantic love, or what's the term? What's the types of love?
Romantic love sounds good to me.
Great. So then I applied that, and so I oscillate between the two verses and chorus.
It's a beautiful story. Do you want a tissue here? I got a tissue.
Thank you.
There you go.
These glazed ass eyes. God, I should just walk around with one of these at this point. Thank you. I'll toss this back here.
I'll sell them to you afterwards. Don't worry. I need the money. Maybe instead of asking you what have you done, maybe I should ask you what you hope for. What do you hope for yourself in the next few years, both as an artist, as Jessie Reyez, the figure on Instagram, and
nice
the public figure,
TMZ making puns,
and
Tom
MZ, and Jessica Reyez, the girl on the 8th grade girl on the front of that cover. What do you hope for the both of them for the next few years?
I hope for more peace. I hope for more balance. More rest, more doing what I love, more advocating for self and not letting myself down for the sake of not letting others down. More of that. More contribution, more being of service to others, more creativity, and more growth.
I loved your book of poetry.
Thank you.
Inspired by people who I see on Instagram sometimes. Your fans write in and they give you topics and you write poems based on it. What does that give you to do that?
What does that what?
Give you? What do you like about it? What does it give you to do it?
Release. It's the natural. In my opinion, it's the natural artistic. It's the natural artistic rhythm to make and release, and because we live in this economic society, it's not really conducive for that to be normal.
When you make something, you can't just put it out. There has to be label meetings, there has to be managerial meetings, there has to be album artwork, there has to be what are we going to tell the guy from Newfoundland so he'll understand it.
Exactly.
What is all this stuff is, but with poetry and when people send you topics and you generate it, you can just get it out there.
Quick, yeah.
And that does something to you?
Oh my God. It gave me satisfaction. It gave me relief. It scratched the itch in a way that nobody could tell me shit about. And I also loved the ephemeral nature of it. I loved that it was that there were people that would message and be like, oh, fuck, I missed you doing it. Or that it would only be up for 24 hours. And if you caught it, you caught it. And if you didn't, you didn't. I loved that. And then I started getting messages of people being like, damn, Jess, like, I'd love to see, I sent you a prompt this many weeks ago, but it's gone. Would love to see it. And then I gave it more thought. And I was like, well, this was a product of community. So it belongs to the community. So I wanted to get something tangible that I could, have available for anyone that wanted to feel it in their hands. And also, I thought it was a really beautiful. One of the things that I love so much about this exercise, apart from what I'm gaining and how it's servicing me, because it gives me relief. Like, there's no better way of describing outside of relief, because it's just, I'm blessed that inspiration is just always there.
Yeah.
And it's so nice not to be a hoarder in art, because that's what so many of us are who work in it. Because people who sent in the messages knew that there was a level of anonymity, because when it gets posted, it doesn't say who sent it.
Mm-hmm.
It added, in my opinion, an extra layer of, it almost gave people more permission to be very vulnerable.
Yeah, confession.
Yes.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, I have all of these confessions in my DMs that feel like a peephole into very, very pure, raw snapshot of human experience. That's why I think they came out so potently.
I think a lot about the kid in grade 8 who said, I want to go platinum, I want to get rich, and I want to be famous. And I think a lot about how I think when you were in grade 8, it was kind of the beginning of it. The internet was happening.
Yeah.
Still, maybe MySpace was on the go. Like, it wasn't as pervasive. There was no TikTok like it is now. It's not as big as it is now.
Yeah, there was T.Wire.
You hear a lot about people, young people these days, the number one thing they want to be. I mean, this is apocryphal, but instead of being an astronaut or being a firefighter or being they say they want to be an influencer. They want to be famous. It's more and more pervasive. I wonder if you have anything to say. What would you say to a young person who is listening to this, who says, like, in their grade 6 or grade 7 and grade 8, I want to be famous?
I don't know, because I'd come from a place of fear if I was saying it, like, from my experience, because it could just, you just have to have such a fucking strong foundation to not get rocked. Because then all of a sudden, if you don't know yourself enough, you're just one voice now against 10,000, 30,000, 50,000, 1 million, 2 million. And if you have if one person telling you this and 50 million telling you something else, and you don't have a strong foundation, all of a sudden self-doubt can become very fucking normal. And then you're screwed if you're not advocating for yourself, or, like, holding that sacredness of knowing you and having authenticity and being able to speak with conviction about what you feel, because all of a sudden you'll be in doubt, in perpetual doubt, if you don't have a strong foundation. So I'd say that. Mm. But also what's really funny is, because you mentioned this is a new world now, and it's pervasive, as you said. It's funny because now the scales might tip, because what happens when everyone's famous? Then is fame still a thing? It might not be as intense. Maybe it's not as intense because you'll have more people to relate to who have, like, experienced it. And you kind of see it now. You see people, like, randomly on TikTok, and you see people, what? Look at what's her name? Really talented redhead.
Vanessa, who's the really talented redhead on TikTok?
She's a singer.
Chapel Rowan.
She
said that on this show. When she said that thing she said about Vanessa produced that. When she said that, are you talking about the thing where she said that you need to look after yourself in this?
No, but it sounds like something she said. But that's funny, because those are her words. I'm speaking about her actions. Because remember, she did that thing at red carpets when she was like, "Don't fucking yell at me."
Yeah.
Yo. Elite. But I don't think, there's more people coming for. Obviously, she's an artist, but there's also influencers online that, like, will be transparent and be like, just because I'm doing this art doesn't mean that I all of a sudden become a fucking, I am not, what's it called? Oh my God.
Puppet.
When kids look up to you, you are...
Idol.
Yes.
Hero.
I'm not an idol. I'm not a hero. I didn't.
Role model.
Thank you. I didn't sign up to be a role model. I'm still very much human. You just happen to like my art, and because 20 people times 10 times 15 like my art doesn't automatically make me an artist and a role model. Yes, there are responsibilities that might come with it, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that that all of a sudden you are perfect. and that you are denied your humanity or you are denied your,
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe that's what I would say. I'd say, fuck, it can be dangerous. Make sure you have a strong foundation.
Make sure you have, that's the one I'm sticking with, is make sure you
Yeah.
have a strong foundation.
Yeah, but that also comes with a lot of fear, and so maybe who knows? It might not be as bad. That's very optimistic, but I've been told I could be more a utopian idealist sometimes. But maybe if it becomes more of a norm, people will be more aware of being empathetic when someone's struggling with fame because there's more fame now. You know what I mean?
It's more of a common experience.
It's more of a common experience.
And we won't know about it anyway, because you and I will be in different cabins, in different woods, but living in the woods away from everybody else.
Yep.
Near trees.
Yep.
And still talking every 2 or 3 years away from everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so proud of you, man.
Thank you
For everything. And this has been 10 years of us talking.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh, that's insane.
Think about the fucking growth I've seen.
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you, man.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you of all the growth you've done too.
Thank you.